who is your idol? We all have role models in life. Some people lean towards an actor, a singer, or maybe even a politician. My idol is Travis Barker, and his idol in turn was an orange puppet. Now, without context, that is quite an odd statement. To understand it, one must go back to the childhood of the man, the myth, the legend, a drummer of such quality that although I will try, words cannot do him justice. As a child, Travis grew up watching The Muppet Show. He was drawn to one specific Muppet, the orange drummer known as Animal. To quote Travis, he was pure primitive orange insanity, and he was my hero. Here's a picture Trav drew of himself playing drums at the age of 4. Even at a young age, he was fascinated by percussion. Travis's parents made sure to sign their kid up for drum lessons. His mom, Gloria Marie Rose McCarty, also known as Cookie, taped every lesson and learned alongside her son. She even learned how to read music in order to help her son. Travis is quoted as saying she was just as good at drums as himself, although she did not attempt to consume her cymbals such as he did, which is something Animal did on The Muppet Show. His father was a hard-working, blue-collar man. He worked between 40 and 60 hours a week. He built the house Trav grew up in with his own 2 hands. He was a busybody, constantly working even when he got home from work. He would pick up a project and continue the work ethic. This work ethic was observed and imitated by young Trav, which set the tone for a life of drums, drums, drums. Travis grew up doing what a typical boy does in that era. He was into BMX and skateboarding, boxing and wrestling, and of course drums. Here's a picture of Trav on his very first skateboard. Although he got away with much when his mom had a say, his dad kept him in line. His mother consistently inspired him to be a rock star. She would play My Little Drummer Boy constantly, even when it wasn't Christmas time. Although she supported Travis's drumming wholeheartedly, she also kept him well-rounded. She made sure he did his homework as soon as he got home, and then had him do what she called studies, which was extra homework that she made up to keep him up to scale with his academics. Travis's first fight was in 3rd grade when he punched a kid in the face for saying Santa wasn't real, only to find out the following Christmas that he wasn't. It's quite ironic. His musical appetite started young with quite a hunger. He loved old school hip-hop such as Run DMC and Beastie Boys, but also metal such as Slayer and Metallica. His mother would tear down the metal posters in his room because she believed them to be demonic. Often a new poster wouldn't even last a day on his wall. Unfortunately, Travis's mother developed Sjögren's syndrome, a sickness that causes your own immune system to attack your body. One of the last things his mother told him before she died was, no matter what, play the drums. Keep doing it, no matter what anybody else says. Don't stop playing the drums, Travis. Follow your dreams. His first band was called Necromancy. It was a metal cover band. They had a few original songs, but mostly they played covers of Slayer, Megadeth, King Diamond, and Metallica. Travis started marching band in middle school because he was told of how seriously marching band was taken in high school, and he wanted to get a head start. They won every competition, in no small part thanks to Travis. Travis's mentality towards drums was quite simple. If you had a band and needed a drummer, Trav was game. His first job was at a music chain store named Warehouse, where he learned a lot about all different types of music. Travis's mentality of drumming for a plethora of bands continued into his late teens and beyond. To quote Travis, I was operating on the theory that it wasn't possible to be in too many bands simultaneously. His dad gave him an ultimatum when he turned 18. Either he started paying rent or leave. Being an old school guy, his dad let his sisters stay rent-free, although they did help out without being asked to, but since he was a guy, the rules were different. He didn't want his son to be a boy in a man's world. Travis's buddy wanted him to join a relatively known band called Feeble, but he was in a predicament with his father's ultimatum. He got a job at Target Warehouse for 65 hours a week, but with the long hours, he wouldn't have been able to play the drums. He told the singer of Feeble, Noel, about his situation, and the dude let him stay on his couch. For better or for worse, Trav was going to be a drummer. To quote Travis, I moved into Noel's place with a drum kit and a sleeping bag. There was something else he brought with him too, and that was a dream. Everyone in his new band Feeble had jobs as trashmen. They would even play gigs in their trashmen uniforms. The band was quite a hit locally. The first band that Travis played with that had clout was called the Aquabats. Travis's bassist friend joined that band. A little while later, their drummer bailed, and Travis was offered the position. The band was quite different as far as the bands that Travis had played with in the past. One of the members' parents owned a rash guard company called Alita, and the band wore them during their shows. This is a picture of the green suit the members wore during their shows. This was a bit out of character for Travis, but sometimes we had to make sacrifices to get where we need to go. Besides, it was their uniqueness that created the buzz around the band. Soon after Travis joined the band, they started to become quite a hit. A radio station in LA called KROQ played their single called Super Rad. MTV even played their video a few times. They began touring across the country, opening for Snowcore, which included Blink-182, the future limelight band that Travis would get his claim to fame from. The tour went from California all the way to New York. Their luck wasn't all-encompassing, however. The very first day they arrived in NYC, their van got robbed. When that tour was over, the Aquabats began touring exclusively with Blink-182. Through this arrangement, Travis began spending a lot of time with two of the three Blink members. Mark and Tom were best friends, who did not take themselves too seriously at all. Trav felt a connection with them immediately. Here's a picture of the three guys. That's Travis in the middle. As luck would have it, their drummer wasn't as serious about the band as Tom and Mark, and when he bailed for a gig, Travis took his spot. And the rest, as they say, is history. Blink-182 was a smash hit. Their unique sound mixed with equally unique antics made them a household name. They personified the era, speaking for the mass of teenage rebellion. Travis went on to have a hit reality show on MTV called Meet the Barkers, which recorded him and his family. This included his wife, Shayna, and kids, Landon and Alabama. Travis also created a clothing company. I'm actually wearing one of his shirts right now. That F stands for famous. The brand is called Famous Stars and Straps. The idea behind the band was to make something for those with a similar lifestyle to Trav, one that reflected a life of skateboarding, BMX, cars, tattoos, rap, metal, and punk. He is quoted as saying, "Your clothes are your second skin. I want to be responsible for that second skin." The brand has been quite a success, selling in many major stores across the nation and beyond. After all of the success came a great tragedy. Travis, who had always had a deep-seated fear of flying, was in a horrific accident. It turns out his years of fear towards planes was justified. While the plane was being torn asunder, Barker accepted his own death. His life flashed before his eyes in what seemed like slow motion. Once the plane crash was over, Travis tried to find his friends, two of which were blocked by a wall of fire. He saved his friend DJ AM and bolted. He was covered in jet fuel, and soon he burst into flames, running for his life. He lost two very close friends to that crash. As if that wasn't enough, he had third-degree burns on 65% of his body and needed skin grafts and multiple surgeries, 26 to be exact. But this did not stop nor even impede his work ethic. He came out of the tragedy with new vigor. He wasn't taking anything for granted anymore. This is a picture of the remnants of the crashed plane. And this is a picture of Travis in the ER immediately following the crash. Currently, Travis is drumming on many different projects. His work ethic exceeds human nature. He is in a constant state of progression, besting yesterday with his tomorrows. Here's a fun fact. The man drums so hard during shows that most of the time his hands are left bloody and raw. Travis Barker is your quintessential drummer on the surface, but underneath he is even more. A man of honor, a man with a hunger to advance his trade, a man who embraces diversity, a man who does not accept defeat. On top of that, he attains a level of humility that seems to be embedded within his soul. I actually met this dude, and he was the definition of chill. His legend may be as high as the clouds, but his reality is as grounded as the earth itself. This man's legacy is anything but over, and I truly look forward to witnessing what the future has in store for him. To put it simply, this guy rocks.